Welcome back into Viking Central. Brad here with you with Viking Central and Viking Central Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. I had a fun video for you guys today. I'm going to look at some unrealistic quarterback options that could maybe come into effect if the Vikings do decide to go big game hunting in the quarterback position market there. Some big names that you're going to be like, there's no chance, but at the same time, maybe Kevin O'Connell, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah are looking to make that big splash. Jobs are on the line, especially probably in the front office. So if a big splash is what they need to try to get that playoff push and maybe try to get back from that Super Bowl conversation, I think they're going to attempt to at least do make a big play in the trade market for a quarterback. But before we hop in the video, best way to support us, that's Badass Wood Art. Use code VC15 for 15% off your order. That's badasswoodart.com. Again, use code VC15 for 15% off your order. And then if you're watching on YouTube, just hit that red subscribe button. Turn on that bell for notifications so you know when we post. We try to post here as much as we can. Stay up to date with the Minnesota Vikings and all the news and everything that's happening as we get closer and closer to the offseason. Out of playoff contention, but at the same time, a lot of big things happening here in the future. But let's talk some quarterback options. And I don't like to say unrealistic, and I don't want to say – we never say never here at Viking Central. We know a lot of things happen, especially, as a Vikings fan. A lot of the unknown turns into – things that actually do happen. And not always for the good, but if one of these trades do happen, it is for the betterment for the team. In my opinion, some other people think like, no, I don't want to pay that much money for a quarterback again. But at the end of the day, winning games is all that matters. Vikings are sitting at 7-8 right now. So, they haven't done much winning. Out of playoff contention again, once again, like I said. So let's look at some quarterback options here. All right. I know this is the sexy name going around Viking social media. A lot of talk right now about Joe Burrow, Joey B. Is he unhappy in Cincinnati? Is he going to ask out? I had that really weird press conference here. What was that, last week, 10 days ago or so, where he's just like, it's been a weird year personally. Football-wise, obviously there's another injury. We're talking about injuries with J.J. McCarthy, but Joe Burrow's a superstar quarterback, but at the same time, he hasn't stayed the most healthy either, especially in the last few years, but he has been to a Super Bowl. He obviously is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I don't know what a trade would look like. It would take multiple firsts, probably a Jordan Addison type in there, J.J. McCarthy going back that way. It'd be a pretty massive trade, and he's getting paid the big bucks too. So how do we work that cap wise when we already owe a lot of money? I think we're $46 million over the cap right now, and I know we could get under it. A lot of people say cap's a myth. We can make it work. But Joe Burrow in this system with Kevin O'Connell, I think would probably honestly almost be a match made in heaven. Really good at intermediate thrower of the football. And that's kind of what Kevin O'Connell's system thrives in. And then obviously the throws over the top. Joe Burrow has really good deep ball as well. And he's been throwing to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and those guys over there. So he could come over here and for sure throw to Justin Jefferson. Like I said, maybe you'd have to send Jordan Addison back, but would you re-sign Jalen Naylor at that point? What's your tight end situation look like? And get some weapons in the backfield as well. So Joe Burrow, that's the first one there. So I know that's the hot topic right now. So obviously I had to put him there. But is it unrealistic at this point? Probably, but you never know. Next one is Baker Mayfield, which I think is kind of interesting. The Buccaneers, believe it or not, are sitting at the same record as the Minnesota Vikings right now. And Baker's been over there for a while, handful of years, and he's done a lot of good things, rejuvenated his career over there with Todd Bowles and with that Tampa Bay Buccaneers organization. And I think he could come over and bring that toughness and grittiness to the Vikings, something that J.J. McCarthy does show. He's kind of got that leadership style that is kind of over the top sometimes, but Baker, man, he's just wired that way. And I think teammates really do react to it really well. I think Baker coming in here would kind of bring that alpha mentality and just really solidify the quarterback. And I do think he'd fit really well in the system over here, throwing the football around. We've seen him put up big numbers. He led the league in touchdowns last year in 2024. I think he'd fit really well in the system. But is it unrealistic at this point? Yes. Next one is Justin Herbert. I don't know why the Chargers would necessarily want to get rid of him, and I don't think he'd want out or anything, kind of like the Joe Burrow situation where maybe he asked for a trade this offseason. That's just speculation at this point, but Justin Herbert, I think, is happy in LA, has the celebrity girlfriend, and has all that going on for him. But does Jim Harbaugh still have a crush on JJ McCarthy? What if the Chargers don't win a playoff game again this year? Is Harbaugh looking to make a move? I know you probably don't blame Justin Herbert. He's had a great year and has had a great career up to this point, but I don't know. It's something that kind of in the back of my mind more than anything, like the JJ McCarthy, Jim Harbaugh connection. I know that's cliche and everything like that, but at the end of the day, maybe it is something that happens, and just it's a pipe dream at this point. But I had to put Justin Herbert on here just for that connection, and I'd love him in Minnesota. Obviously, I'm sorry I'm battling a cold as well, but I'd love him in Minnesota. Matthew Stafford is another one here, which is probably maybe the most unlikely because he could retire after this year, number one. And why would the Rams want to get rid of him? Obviously, Sean McVay really likes Matt Stafford. I mean, who doesn't? They've won a Super Bowl together. But this speculation kind of comes from Score North, Purple Daily. You guys, if you're watching this, you've probably watched Phil Mackey, Judd Zulgad, Declan Goff over there, Thor Nystrom now over there as well. But they had that reckless speculation where, what if Joe Burrow gets traded to the Rams and then Matt Stafford still wants to play another year? Here comes the Vikings. That's where the Vikings kind of come into play. Probably the most unlikely situation and theory out there, but hey, you never know. This is a fun little exercise. But that is my 4 quarterbacks that I think are unrealistic, but would be really fun in Minnesota. Joey Burrow, Baker Mayfield, Justin Herbert, Matt Stafford, all would look great in purple. Unrealistic at this point, but hey, crazier things have happened. Skull, God bless Viking Central.